So we're 30 seconds away into game number 1 between TaToH and Monoz. TaToH being 3rd seed overall in all tournament ELO, Monoz being around 60th seed, I believe. But game number 1 is on Inundation, a map that's been changed, tweaked slightly in World Warriors Cup 2. And TaToH has gone for the pick of Spanish. There is Nomad in their draft as well, but not waiting for Spanish to be played on Nomad, but instead playing it here on Inundation. And Monoz has gone for a very curious pick. A pick that leads me to believe like he is cooking something. I'm not sure what's on the menu, but I'm very excited to find out. Players both start on this water terrain outside of this inner island, this little inundated section of land where all of the gold and the ibex are trapped in, and both players going out to the outside to build their town center. There's definitely been some discussion of whether it's better to build a town center in the middle where you have gold, a little bit of wood with these bamboo reeds, or bamboo forests, trees, okay, and the ibex, and the deer, so quite a few resources. Or if you build it back here where you also have more gold, some stone, and of course the boars. And Monoz, I think, I'm kind of curious exactly what the strategy is. I'm thinking it's beneficial because there are so many boars, and Goths now collect more hunt out of the boars. They get maybe like 15% more than what's actually present of the 340 food on the boar. Meanwhile, TaToH has gone for the Spanish. I think everyone's going to be expecting FC Conquistadors, or unless he's really gaming and wants to go for some FC monk play. I don't think that would be the case, though. FC Inquisition, I think he has a bit more respect for his opponent. That's the kind of play you do if you're really up against someone like my caliber, where you're like, okay, this game's going to go, 3 games, might as well enjoy it. Have to play it until you get on to the next further rounds. But no, Monoz is a legit player. TaToH checking if Monoz is in the middle, because there is all this deer here. You might think, okay, well, my opponent picked Goths, so maybe he's trying to make use of this advantage very early by collecting the deer. The horse is fairly weak. Like 2 volleys of the town center would kill the horse. So, yeah, I don't know why I'm keeping this on scouted view. We know the town center is not in the middle. We can see the whole map. Monoz, on the other hand, going around and collecting the sheep and doing a very good job of wrapping around the wood lines, identifying where the sheep are. Once he collects, or in this case geese, once he collects the geese, sends them off to the corner of the map so TaToH doesn't find him. And does he see anything of the town center? Ooh, he saw villagers for a moment. Stops, contemplates. Did I just see something, or was I imagining it? Sees berries. I mean, that's not a tell or anything, unless it was Gujaras and the berries would spawn there. And TaToH, interestingly enough, going towards the middle with villagers pretty early on here. And, yeah, sending out sheep. Really wants to figure out, I guess, where Monoz is immediately. Less concerned with collecting the sheep. Early, what's it called? Loom for the Goths, because they can get that almost instantly once they click the research button. Still have to pay full price, of course. But useful when you're taking in boars in from quite a distance. Yeah, horse still moving around, trying to figure out if they see any indication of Monoz, hoping maybe that there'd be some houses along the shoreline that would indicate where the town center is. But yeah, so far Monoz hasn't really found where TaToH is, and TaToH hasn't really found where Monoz is. The direction the sheep are going might be a tell if a player runs into the other player's sheep. It might be a reason to play Vietnamese on this map, because then you immediately know where your opponent's town center is right from the start. But yeah, now Monoz really getting in-depth look at the forest to really see, is TaToH hiding behind there? Maybe if I crane my neck in between these trees a little bit better, I can really have a better idea of where TaToH is. Sheep going to the middle now, just in case TaToH is in the middle. But sending 2 at a time, which isn't, great use of resources. Builds from both players have been fairly flawless so far. It looks like they're all bringing in their boars fairly quickly. TaToH is a little bit slower because he's forced to go onto the berries. Does he not see the boar? No, he does see the boar. I don't know. I don't know what to think about, you know, taking the slower resource of the berries, maybe just making space under his town center. Villagers, yeah, in the middle, just taking the ibex or the deer, whatever's closest. And Monoz, meanwhile, bringing in 2 boars at once. A true Black Forest player. Very comfortable with his boar lures, especially when he can kill the boars very quickly with the villagers, the Gothic villagers, and the extra HP from Loom. And it feels like it might be FC from Monoz, but when you realize you're probably going to be up against Conks very quickly, what do you want to do with Goths is the question. Huskarls aren't going to do too well against Conquistadors. It feels like a boom. It might be a boom into GG kind of situation. Monoz definitely could bring in some of these extra sheep too. Or, sorry, geese. As a biologist, I should be biologically correct. Second building going up for TaToH. So he could, you know, decide to draw this out a little bit and go for a scout opening first.
Yeah.
How many resources have been collected so far? Definitely in the lead for Monoz, because he has been on that faster food source of the hunt versus TaToH being on the berries. Maybe he did just want to create a little bit more room under his town center, and that's why he just took some of those berries. And now he's taking in the 2 boars, with one just being trapped there. Oh man, that's horrendous. Just being shown your future as you step on the blood of your fellow boar. And now Monoz has confirmation of where TaToH's town center is. Could click up pretty soon. Oh, and yeah, TaToH is clicking up now. So it is going to be some sort of feudal play, probably to take a little bit of map control in the center area, make sure he has gold. Because he has just limited gold in his town center. Definitely enough for him to get up. But yeah, if Monoz, I guess, had towered up completely in the middle with the stone that he has nearby, he would have been able to prevent the Conquistadors from, or the Spanish player with Conquistadors from really controlling any gold, had TaToH decided to go for the fast castle approach.
Presto.
Militia coming forward. Not something you expected to see from the Spanish, but instead from our Goth player. Barracks might not actually go up. Monoz had... Oh my! Oh my! Horsey gets stuck, but wasn't able to get enough taps there. So that looks like it might be a dead villager. No, okay. Monoz re-protects that villager, but no, goes back in for the fight. Horsey is there to block. Monoz very upset with that Horsey and trying to bring other villagers in here to help. And we need some more quick walls. We get some sort of quick walls. Horse is still there to block. Barracks will be completed, but I think that's 2 dead villagers. Horse is there. Ibex is there. 2 dead villagers immediately from militia. And that's probably, yeah, more out of these militia that we've seen for a long time. Militia are definitely out of favor in the current meta. But with these new maps, you get new strategies. Horse is sprinting now that it's up to feudal age. Really trying to figure out what else Monoz is doing. Man-at-arms on the way. Going to try to steal the sheep, but obviously can't hit them or anything, and villagers are close enough to keep control of them. And we have a range kind of hidden off to the side by Monoz. Yeah, both players going for range for some sort of middle control. More boars coming in now for TaToH. He has plenty of food under his town center. Once he has more villagers out to collect that. Skirm out as the first choice by TaToH. I'm guessing he's just going to go full skirm to, you know, have some sort of map control and either force Monoz into scouts, which would delay, of course, his castle age time, or just be resigned to go into skirms himself, which would do well against Conquistadors later. Men-at-Arms have found a house to knock up against. And yeah, just trying to limit, I guess, how much Monoz can expand. Do have archers actually coming out for TaToH as well, so maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe he has found opportunities for attack. And I guess if he sits right next to this wood line, there is still the gold right underneath Monoz's town center that he hasn't really used all that much. It's just been a skirm spear for him. And Monoz with pretty good micro going after the archer first. That's a dead archer. Paying back the favor. Horse? Ooh, one tapped. I mean, by each of the spears. I do like seeing a horse go down after it's caused such menace. I know it's not very eco-friendly of me. Man-at-Arms actually coming back now, probably to help deal with the spears or the skirms. Man-at-Arms, of course, are going to do very well against both. And TaToH going for full stone walls behind this. He wants to make sure that, I guess he can get into Conquistadors? I don't know. Am I just dreaming? You guys can tell me in chat or in comments. Am I dreaming that just going straight Conquistadors wins this matchup? I don't really know what the counter would be. Like, is Monoz going to go into full CA? I don't know. Full skirm to deal with the Conquistadors? Now with the Man-at-Arms taking out the spears and the skirms. And of course they have bonus damage against spears, so they do that pretty easily. But there are quite a few skirms here for Monoz. TaToH actually getting fletching for the few archers he has. I guess because he's found a point of attack on the villagers from the Goths that are still in the middle. Behind this, so many dead herdables underneath Monoz's town center. Villagers just finding the first one that can attack and start going to town. And TaToH definitely looks like, I mean, it's a similar situation under his town center. Looking like he wants to continue onto the Castle Age post-haste, is going out to the stone. So, okay. Conquistadors are definitely on the menu to some extent. It's just a matter of at what point TaToH wants to go and get the Conquistadors. And TaToH's villagers are actually under some sort of risk here. I think they can easily go through the gate without, you know, having to worry about letting anyone in. And I think the spear... Let's see. 2 more taps, right? I think, unless there's some quick walls... Oh, 3 more taps. Okay. A little bit of blocking. There we go. And TaToH saves it on 2 HP. Keeping... Oh, yeah, you can't keep that gate open. TC is just in range. That's funny. And villager actually just going right back out, or contemplating it. I think TaToH is going to send them back in, unless he's... What is he paying attention to? Okay, this archer fight over here. So they're under threat to some extent. This entire wood line is under threat, though TaToH has a second wood line behind. And we have a stable that... I don't know if that's been scouted. Stable has not been scouted. I don't know if that's going to actually be used. I guess it could be used to make a knight in addition to the conks. But I was definitely thinking for husbandry or bloodlines for the conks. We have a tower here to protect the villagers, though there isn't much hunt left over on this side. But Monoz is adding more villagers to try to take control there. And we just have skirms chasing after the archers. That's pretty good that Monoz did identify where those archers were. But Monoz has lost 2 vills at the start there from the militia. So still behind in terms of villager numbers. Yeah, just bringing the units back, it looks like. Realizes he can't do too much damage. Oh, TaToH's actually making scouts. I thought he would try to get up as soon as possible, but yeah, willing to add scouts for additional map control here. Will be helpful to keep these archers alive, because otherwise they're going to have a difficult situation. I think I'm just so used to seeing like all-out approaches from players, and the fact that TaToH's taking his time here and not forcing the Castle Age issue just feels a little weird to me. He will click up shortly. There we go. And Scout is here to finish off the skirms that are around the map. I feel like TaToH doesn't want to leave any stone unturned. He wants complete domination in every regard. A good match without like worrying about it being a civ win. He's almost playing this as if like he doesn't have Conquistadors. That he just has any other civ. If the map draft hadn't gone his way, he would be in this position with a civilization that just doesn't have crossbowmen. So he's going to make the most of these crossbows and the scouts. Resources collected are 300 ahead for TaToH. Despite, you know, Monoz having all of these access to the deer in the middle and being able to collect more out of that based from the Goth bonus. Archers are now coming through, and all the skirms are forward. They have fletching as well. Very tough situation for Monoz. He's feeling kind of safe here, it feels like. I mean, might be GG before the conks even arrive. Monoz realizes... Does he get a little quick wall or something? Actually, only loses 1 villager? 2 villagers. I guess it's like slight downhill there. We have 1 villager on the houses. Might not be noticed. Villagers on the stone? I mean, Monoz is up still as well. Oh, suddenly this stone mine's gone. I wonder where all the units went. I think they can sit behind that. They'll survive, I guess, until... I mean, I guess the scrims get brought back. But now we have, I believe, yeah, scouts with forging as well. Coming to do damage, taking out another villager. And Eco Katie is 5-0. TaToH deciding to build a townstone in the back first before going for the conquistadors. And Monoz might be wondering, okay, why isn't he just going conks? Is it just me that's wondering that? Why doesn't he just go conks? Like, conks will just rage this entire economy. I guess monks could be a defense, and you can't really finish off a player with monks. And the number of skirms that Monoz is on now makes conks a little bit, I don't know, less effective. Monoz going for the second TC, and heavy plow. What? I would think elite skirm would be in the cards. But no, heavy plow. And behind that, yeah, TaToH is just booming with a castle as another option. Making some light cav to deal with all the skirms. Probably going to pull them back now that the spears are here. A little spin move, a little juke. And yeah, just using the one remaining scout to scout out to see what Monoz is doing. Sees that there's a little bit of a wall-up attempt. That should be an easy kill here for the light cav. TaToH was trying to take the hill advantage anyways, realized it's not worth it. Just one archer in that range left over from TaToH's feudal age. And yeah, not much else to talk about. Just a few more scouts being produced by TaToH. No villagers on gold anymore. Everyone's sent to boom and continuing to mine stone despite, you know, the fact that he's moved into boom mode. Scout did come in here, kill another villager. We have a 10-0 Eco KD. No GG visible, but I'm assuming GG was called after the game was done. But that is game one to TaToH without even relying on conquistadors, just kind of outplaying. It could have been any other civ, and that's how the best players shine. Is just any other civ could have done the same situation. It's me, it's not the civ. I don't think TaToH's that brash to say that. I'm not trying to put words in his mouth, but just shows his competency at Age of Empires 2. I don't know really where Monoz went wrong either. I mean, he made 17 spears, and I don't think they were that effective. They are cheaper, of course, with the Goths. Maybe he could have walled up at home a little bit more, like TaToH had done a little bit earlier. But I don't know what the game plan was with with Goths. It just seemed like I'll use Goths to collect more food, and then in the end, he didn't actually collect more food. So yeah, odd civ choice, especially to be third civ pick, I believe. Second civ pick in his draft was Goths for this map. Yeah, maybe there was a previous round where he had more success with Goths, but we'll see. Players are just about getting, yeah, they're jumping into game 2. So let me just update scores for TaToH. And we'll jump into game number 2. Ten seconds until game is ready to start. The map is Nomad. Most people should be fairly familiar with Nomad, but Wandering Warrior Cup 2 Nomad is slightly different, with one side of the map being landlocked. There's Capture Age. So, in this case, it's the top side of the map. Neither player is too close to that. We can see down here on the bottom side, Monoz is trying to find a shorefish that's not in a bay, so it'll have, the dock will have good access to a wide array of fish from around it. And yeah, that's exactly the situation. And can I not? Why don't I have mod settings in OBS? One sec. Need to kick someone out of Twitch chat. All right, back to introducing the map now that I cleared that bot out of my Twitch chat. We have TaToH down here in the blue. At the bottom side, he is in this peninsula, though he has a little bit of access. Sometimes we have the central water as completely cut off from the outside. Sometimes I think this ice terrain will allow ships to come across. Meanwhile, Monoz just getting his TC up right in the middle of the map, really, which is ideal, I think, for a 1v1. Sometimes when you're on the outside, you kind of get limited in your access. TaToH's dock is on the left side, and Monoz's dock is on the bottom side. Both of them have avoided trying to build their dock anywhere near this closed-off section of the map, which is unique to the Wandering Warriors Cup version of Nomad. Monoz just pushing in an Ibex with his villager. Don't know if he sees this. Doesn't quite see the boar here. And yeah, once you find a few boars, you have like a rough idea of where the rest of them will spawn based off of the distance they spawn from each other. They're mostly, you know, an equal distance apart from each other. Some people say, oh yeah, there's like a triangle formula or something. Look, it's a triangle. We're like, oh no, it's a square. It's just, you know, they have a radius of how far they can spawn from each other. So yeah, if you see like 1, 2, you can, I guess, triangulate where the rest of the boars come from. But yeah, it's just a matter of how far they are from each other. And unfortunately for Monoz, he just doesn't see the boar that's right next to him, but was able to bring an Ibex under his town center, which is ideal to keep villager production going while also getting out your first fishing ship and building your first house after, you know, or I guess second house in this case. Eco approach is very similar for TaToH at this point in the match. Just bringing the boar. Speaking of civs, I thought that TaToH might go for Khmer on Inundation and Spanish on this map, but he's gone for the exact opposite. Khmer can go with a very fast castle build. So since on this map you have a landlock, you sometimes have docks and fishing economies that are quite distant from each other. And so fast castling into some sort of water pressure could be, you know, quite a good situation. Though in TaToH's position over here, he might consider instead going for some land pressure so he can gain some map control and just kind of, I don't know, putting limited pressure on the water aspect of the match. Monoz still hasn't seen this boar, unfortunately, but has found another one to bring in, continuing to scout with sheep. Probably has identified that this is the landlocked side of the map up here. So as long as he doesn't find any docks along this side, which looks like, you know, is the case, he should know where to send any navy that he produces in feudal age or castle age. Speaking of navy, I would imagine he probably wants to go for some sort of feudal pressure. I'm not quite sure what the Japanese pick is for here. It might just be, you know, fishing ships are going to be working faster than other fishing ships from other civilizations. Could be CA. You could just kind of play this like Arabia with extra resources from the fish. It could just be that Japanese are a very, what do you call it, flexible civilization in Castle Age. They have good monks, they have good siege, they have good cavalry, they have cavalry archers, they have crossbowmen, and they have a pretty decent economy behind all of that. It's just in Imperial Age that they start to fall off, and the fact that they don't have any superb, castle unique units either, which is something you see a lot of on Nomad. TaToH continuing to bring in boars back to his town center. Does he have loom? No, just using palisade walls and a sheep to help block. We can enjoy this process. Always fun to see the pros just do it so well. Almost just feels like, yeah, perfectly placed. Just enough to slow down the boar. And that last few hits can be taken without an issue once the boar is close enough to the town center. TaToH can focus on continuing to scout with the sheep. Speaking of his scouting, pretty good. Didn't quite see anything from Monoz in the middle of the base. So might not have, yeah, the best idea of where Monoz is. Going for a second dock in the middle here. Interesting. Obviously, there's plenty of deep fish there as well. And meanwhile, yeah, Monoz just continuing to fish, and it looks like he's going to be the one up first. TaToH maybe just deciding, you know what, this is actually a safe place to reposition my fish if Monoz decides to go for feudal pressure. I think this house was miscued. And TaToH probably fix that quickly. Yeah, there we go. Because I think you might be able to wall this. And so if you then bring all of your fish into the middle, it'll be safe from any navy unless the navy is able to punch through the wall. And Monoz would have to redock in the middle. Now, I might be just projecting as a caster here as to what might happen, but I think it's possible. So yeah, Monoz going for a very typical approach. Now getting Loom, which is very good, very solid build order. 2 galleys plus double bid axe. Has found this gold up top. And still has some ibex under the town center. But of course, at this point in time, villagers are just going to be focusing on the wood economy and the gold economy to get as many navy units out as possible. Okay, he does still have the boar under the town center. That's what I was trying to point out. But deciding, you know what, I don't want to take this used food. I want to take new food. And it's not always obvious to these players what's still available. TaToH looks like he's going for a fast castle approach, many on gold. Doesn't need a mill because he won't be building a market. It will just be with the Khmer bonus of not needing any buildings to go up. Galleys are now out for Monoz. Coming across the base. And it looks like TaToH has relegated one of his fishing ships to identify where Monoz's base is. And Monoz is doing a good job of blocking 3 volleys from the 2 galleys to take out the fishing ship. Sheep is here waiting for the galleys to sail by. That is the highlight of his day or year or lifetime. I'm not sure. But obviously it has a much smaller line of sight, so might not actually spot the galleys. A few walls here for TaToH to make sure that Monoz doesn't have a follow-up that could disrupt TaToH's FC build. And it looks pretty passive here. For Monoz, but he sees the feudal age click and he's like, okay, this is an FC. I need to reinforce my base in some manner. I don't know what TaToH's doing. He doesn't even know where TaToH's base is, right? He thinks, okay, TaToH might be in this back corner. He might be up here. He's probably down here where I haven't scouted all that much. My villagers that are forward might be the ones that are the most exposed. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he does in this situation. He could get fletching now that he has the blacksmith, but he's probably realizing, okay, I need to get up very quickly. And TaToH has done exactly what I thought he would do, and he has moved his fishing ships to the middle, and Monoz has not spotted that at all. I think Monoz is probably, yeah, he stopped on 2 galleys production. But TaToH did not try to wall this. Okay, that was the one place where I was a little bit incorrect. And so we have 4 stable from TaToH, already building scouts, trying to make sure these walls stay open, I guess. And I think this villager, was she spotted? Yeah, she was definitely spotted. Monoz is definitely going to know what's up. He sees the stable. He knows probably there's going to be siege workshop behind this. And he just has to get up as soon as possible and try to limit the damage. It has a pretty decent map to wall, but TaToH can wrap around this other side as well. He just walled off the siege workshop. And it's not like there's massive walls here either. It's just palisade walls. A fire even being produced here for TaToH to send these galleys back home. And a little bit of villager warring. TaToH also going with the dock right to Monoz's fishing economy. Which make that very difficult. Monoz has scouted this fish. I don't know why these fishing ships are going all the way back here. Maybe worried about FC Fire approach. But it is going to be a siege workshop as I expected. And we are getting a barracks as a response here from Monoz to just probably provide a few spears. And a stable. Okay. So it's probably going to be knights from both players to some extent. And TaToH getting the war galley upgrade as well to help with the fires. The fact that he was able to pretty much keep all of his fish alive was very helpful. Or no, he didn't keep all his fish alive. Sorry, he lost 4 fishing ships, I believe. And Monoz is starting to lose some. The fires are coming right to Monoz's economy. TaToH was kind of fortunate that the docks were right next to his TC. So he was able to send villagers over there immediately. So TaToH will equalize this eco-kitty, I think, very quickly. Monoz is building a lot of fires. And can't quite afford... he has so much to worry about already. Can't quite afford the war galley upgrade. Unless he, yeah, is able to send these villagers back to gold very soon, and he's able to, yeah, cancel some of the fires that he has put in production. And TaToH's coming straight for this gold. Spears are here to try to defend. Doesn't get the quick wall in time. Villagers just have to run. Knight is here to try to snipe the mangonel. I think that Knight gets the kill. Just needs to make sure it keeps the high ground. Villager's not here to repair. And Knight keeps running away, though it might get blocked. TaToH try to go for the block. Does go for the block. Scorpion gets the kill of all units. And villagers are sent back to the gold, but still aren't walled in. And Knights can definitely beat 2 spears. Villager kind of walls herself in. Finds a place to wall herself in as the spears take the brunt of the damage. Though that's like a very weak palisade. All these are very weak palisades. One villager goes down. Second villager's... really rough. I mean, he's focusing on so many things. He's focusing on water. Still doesn't have the war galley upgrade. Does have fish working, though. And soon is not going to have... Oh. Are we talking? Saying a few last words? Indeed, that seems to be the case. One spear actually chasing away the knight. And villager is able to wall herself back in just because the units were bugging out. Interesting. Monoz could repair. Of course, that's another thing to focus on. Decides to build a house instead. These feudal age fire galleys can kind of compete with the castle age fire galleys, but a castle age demo is going to do quite some damage. Or they're not fire galleys in castle age, I guess fire ships. But you kind of need like a 2-to-1 ratio to do some damage. Monoz is going to work on trying to catch up and has seen the fishing ships with the outpost of all items. So he knows now where TaToH snuck his fish into this middle little section that he might not have realized was dockable. The issue for Monoz here is that he's got siege coming down on him. He has no siege workshop in response. He's just going to be relying on units from his stable, as well as the infantry he has running around. And he has no access to gold at the moment. He has found this gold in this corner, though, and he's going to rely on that. Does TaToH know that gold exists? He does not. Okay. So that could be quite beneficial, because TaToH will be checking all these other areas to see if where Monoz is on gold, and might not realize. Khmer Scorpions with the extra range are in no trouble of being hit by the town center, but of course they're not doing that much damage to the town center either. But yeah, initiative definitely seems to be in TaToH's court. It's just a matter of, is TaToH going to add extra town centers? He's just about has the resources for that, but he might be just investing it into siege instead, adding additional knights. Never sold any of his stone to get up to FC, which is interesting. And it feels like Monoz has somewhat won the water at this point. Monoz, yeah, adding fire now and a siege workshop at home to help defend against all of this Khmer siege. Able to come back out to these berries, try to keep the villagers or the town centers producing, because right now the idle DC time is creeping up as, you know, the fish are slowly being exhausted. Bloodline's coming in now for TaToH. He does have quite a few knights. And yeah, Monoz realizes that, makes a monastery in response. Nice little quick wall here to try to keep the knights out. Siege is a mangonel in a siege workshop. And yeah, Monk's just moving around along with the siege. Villager here to repair any siege, and Monoz needs to repair that house very quickly. Look at the attack rounds that TaToH has as well. Here is the siege, though. Takes out one scorpion, one more shot. Oh, doesn't quite get the new shot. And so that's the issue is, oh, and the house goes down as well. This is some raided eco, and Monoz calls it GG. TaToH did eventually build a second town center on a hill. Quite nice positioning, but didn't really need it. Did adopt for the land approach because he was a little bit stuck in the peninsula. And yeah, takes a very convincing victory, it felt like. Just had the initiative throughout the match. And I think Khmer are a very strong map, or a strong civ on this map. Very versatile with the FC plays or the fast feudal plays. Yeah, I like it. Another point to TaToH. It looks like so far it's going to be a clean sweep, but we have to wait for map number 3, which might be Golden Hill if Monoz picks his own home map. And I assume he picks Byzantines there. We'll have to see. They're in lobby right now. We look through the statistics for just a moment as we wait for the next game to start up. TaToH's KD, that's raising to loss. KD's pretty good as well, 19 to 13. Both players have been playing standard so far. I don't know where Monoz was thinking Huns. I feel like Huns... I don't know. I would be most interested if he played Huns, just because I think the Hunnic horse adds some interesting elements to the match. But I don't really see Huns as being super strong on Golden Hill, because it's more of a closed map. And unless you're like sneaking ranges or something and trying to go, yeah, full cav archers with sneaking ranges, I don't see how you're going to use the Hun mobility on Golden Hill. It feels like, yeah, I don't know. Monoz's Civ's choice hasn't been ideal. Maybe he had plans, but those Civs were taken up in the random bans. And the Civs are going to be Byzantines for Monoz and Dravidians for TaToH. Okay, so pretty standard. Nothing too exceptional by these picks. We are into game 3. Monoz on the left playing as the Byzantines. TaToH moving off the Golden Hill to the right, collecting his sheep and finding a town center location. Slowly, sheep are kind of bugging him out. Just goes on the opposite side of the first wood line he finds. And one villager goes off to build a dock. Monoz, yeah, with a slightly better start and also building a dock on the inside ring of the hill of the river. Meanwhile, sheep just being sent around to scout, identify extra resources around the map. We have 3 tile gold and a 4 tile gold, 3 tile stone, and a 4 tile stone in the players' locations, home locations, you could say. The rest of the stone and gold is in the middle of the map. Plenty of hunt, or I guess not exceptional amounts of hunt, but we do have some shorefish back here that can be milled fairly safely, a few berries. So yeah, players are going to just start the normal hybrid start for the most part, and then decide if they want to go FC, they want to fight on water, what kind of composition they're looking for at this point in the game. Good thing about Dravidians is because the dock is up and it provides 5 pop space, TaToH does not have to build a house immediately. He will be the first one with the fishing ship out, most likely. Beyond that, there's not much to talk about on Golden Hill. I mean, obviously the hill in the middle is very important because it has a lot of the limited resources on the map, but that's much later in time, unless players are going for like an FC strategy, a castle drop in the middle. Neither of these civs would really benefit from that strategy all that much, unless Monoz is going for, I don't know, some sort of monk and castle approach. The thing is, like, even if you sit up here for a while, your opponent is still going to be able to have access to the water on the sides and make some sort of navy and try to push, or even just transport across and, yeah, push your base at home with a mix of, like, I don't know, siege and trash units. Board coming in fairly quickly by Monoz, and TaToH doing the same. Scouting is a little bit better for Monoz, I think. Let's see. They're about the same. I guess Monoz has just collected a few more resources. Oh no, res collected is almost even as well. Oh, the score is only different by a few points. Okay. So yeah, pretty even for both players. Fishing ships are coming out similar times, it looks like. Monoz has just had the town center up a little bit sooner. So he's getting those villagers out a little bit sooner. But yeah, at this point in Golden Hill, there's not much to talk about. It's a slow start, like I guess a lot of Nomad maps, but then it gets rolling very quickly as all that food is coming in. Now TaToH now in the lead in terms of economic units produced. Dravidian bonus coming in play, being able to afford that second fishing ship a little bit faster. But Monoz actually quite a bit ahead in terms of villagers. I guess that's just, yeah, getting the TC up faster. Monoz just, yeah, doesn't like finishing off units. Wants to take the boar in ASAP. Doesn't want to leave it around. Also not scouting with these sheep, but instead bringing him under the town center. Feels like there's some food insecurity going on here. Should talk to your GP about that. TaToH, meanwhile, bring in the boar when there's, yeah, 8 left. Villager just seamlessly move on to the next boar. Very smoothly done. Villager going out for a mill or lumber camp? Lumber camp. And I'm guessing this is going to be water play from TaToH. He's played very standard so far, so that's what I'd expect. I'm thinking like another dock right here on this corner. Have you guys heard the new docks that come from Chronicles of Greece? They have new sounds that have more like the seagull sound. It's quite nice to listen to. I like it a little bit more than the ringing of the bells. But I guess it's ringing of the bells is quite seasonal as well. There's a nice attribute. And TaToH, first one up to Feudal Age, is getting Loom as well. Helpful to keep your town center working. Even if you don't have enough food to create another villager and go up to Loom. Or go up to Feudal Age so you get Loom instead. Villager... Okay, probably going out to build another dock here for Monoz. But not on gold yet. Obviously, you don't need to be on gold quite yet. You just clicked up. But, yeah. The fact that TaToH will be up a villager earlier, 30 seconds earlier about, will be very beneficial to winning the water fights. And TaToH continuing to take Hunt as well. Making sure to keep his options open. He's not completely, you know, sticking with the water. He can redistribute villagers later, but wants to make sure that he has food under his town center in some form when he gets to Feudal Age. Because if his opponent is just going FC, he's making a zoo. He's making a zoo for the boar. I feel like the boars have had enough. He prepped the gate as well. Wow. Wow. That's all I have to say. Wow, TaToH. That's quality. That's what top player gives you in terms of game. It might not be the closest game, but yeah, very solid player. Fishing ship, I don't know why they go to the shore fish instead of the deep fish if they have deep fish in their view, but TaToH quickly mitigating that issue by retasking the fishing ships to the deep fish, in this case some tuna in this lake. I don't know if there's actually any tuna in rivers. I think they're predominantly pelagic species, mostly in oceans. We have galley approach for TaToH and a fire, 2 fires for Monoz, and he's snuck all the way over to this right side. It almost seems like he's trying to make it like look like he's not playing water. So maybe TaToH will I don't know. But he's going to realize there's no fishing ships here and start looking around for fishing ships. I was going to say it's going to make TaToH underestimate how much water he needs to produce, and then all of the fires will arrive. I like it as a strategy. I mean, you would think that Byzantines that Monoz is playing are going to go for some sort of fire approach. So TaToH's just scouting. He's like, okay, I'm getting fletching. Should I actually get fletching? Where did this guy send all his fish? TaToH's smart enough. I think. We have 1 fire coming out. We have more galleys behind. Fires are going to intercept right in the middle here. Take a pretty good fight against these galleys. Tries to block. Galleys don't get blocked too much. They're just too slender. They're the speedy ships. TaToH actually... I feel like I didn't get sound for these galleys firing. There we go. Now I get the normal sound. And Monoz just trying to dodge, dip, dash. And he's going to make it difficult for TaToH to actually engage and snipe his fish, because the galleys will have to either come one direction or the other. And TaToH making a new dock just to make sure his fish stay efficient with their production. And TaToH, I think, is just going to stay right here by his fish until he has enough galleys to 1 or 2 shot a fire. But yeah, it's just a micro fight for these players. Fish might go down, actually. Demo comes in, scatters, doesn't waste it. Okay, does waste it. I mean, it's not a completely waste, but not ideal. And then weak fires come back to get repairs from the villager. This is all pretty straightforward for these players at this point in the game. Behind, we have TaToH now collecting, or I guess he's finished collecting the boar that was in his zoo. What else has he moved on to? The shorefish that are in these little ponds in the back of his base. And Monoz looks like he's doing the same, building a mill on the shorefish. TaToH actually giving Monoz some time to get the repairs. Killing that repair villager would actually be very beneficial. But TaToH does have some demos coming out as well, so he's not, you know, overly forcing the issue. Monoz quick on the draw, but that is a ship that can be taken out. TaToH can't be on the wrong side of his dock, though. Fires are trying to come around, but I said galleys are slippery. Maybe not slippery enough. TaToH not finding a way through there and just deciding, you know what, I'm not going to force against the game logic to try to get through those fires by clicking over and over again. But instead, he's going to leave his fish a little bit exposed. Demo's going to come in. Monoz doesn't react, and this should be a full cleanup now. Monoz has stopped producing military, but it has cleaned up most of TaToH's fish, so I'd say maybe worth it overall. Most of the fish here has been exhausted as well. So, yeah, the fishing ships are pretty much done. Could come back onto water if he wanted to later, but now needs to transition to some sort of food eco very quickly. Villagers are coming out here. Don't quite see that pond, but I think if he spreads them out, he should know that there should be a pond out here somewhere. Pond, unfortunately, right along the edge of the map. Gonna build an outpost. Doesn't want to worry about sending villagers everywhere. And maybe that outpost will be useful later if TaToH tries to land with some army. And yeah, Byzantine outpost is going to give you so much vision. Absolute satellite here. Sees the pond and goes to it immediately. So we have a market. I'm assuming, yeah, he already had blacksmith, so maybe even sells a stone. But of course, building an outpost means you don't quite have 100 stone or 200 stone to sell. And selling is, or buying food is much more difficult now than it used to be. But yeah, Monoz does sell 100 stone to try to speed up his uptime. Doesn't quite buy that food yet, though. And has gone out into the middle for gold. I missed that earlier. But yeah, I like this approach of going into the middle for gold. That mining camp might look efficient, but this villager is actually going to have trouble dropping off in between these other villagers. So maybe not ideal compared to, you know, just a standard mining camp over off to the side. TaToH is the first one to click up behind this, but Monoz isn't that far behind either. Total resources collected is slightly in favor of TaToH as well. Not sure why that would be. I guess just like 300 resources is actually kind of big. Maybe just the walking time of villagers, or the fact that TaToH scouted a little bit better earlier. Like if those sheep, when I mentioned that Monoz had some food insecurity, if those sheep had been scouting around his entire section of the map, maybe his villagers would have been a little bit more efficient. The difference in uptime isn't significant though. It's like 10 seconds. Ooh, forward dock here by Monoz to try to snipe TaToH's fish, assuming TaToH has fish there. And will TaToH see that as he builds the outpost right next to Monoz? He doesn't. That is the advantage of the Byzantines, having all of that extra vision from free town watch and town patrol once he gets to Castle Age. Behind this, TaToH has a barracks, making a spear just to scout around, it looks like. And the galleys, of course, can range the villagers. A few villagers going down. Monoz not recognizing this at all. Luckily, the villagers do go idle and don't try to go back to work once they take enough damage. Does realize it now. And yeah, just retask villagers to another woodline. Pretty standard stuff. I don't know about this water approach, though. I mean, you don't want to give your opponent free fish, but you killed so much of his fish earlier. I guess it's not the biggest investment, and water is a big portion of this map. Okay, so TaToH does have an area where he could try to contest the middle, and it's going to be a mix of siege and a town center. I like TaToH's approach way more here. Contest the middle at this point. Like, contesting fish doesn't seem like it does that much. Maybe Monoz has felt that he's safe in the middle here, but he's not. I don't know why you would think you're safe. Going for a siege of his own because, of course, he can see everything that's being built up here. Full vision for both players. But yeah, you're up against a siege workshop that's already being built, and not really any military here to support. And of course, sending any additional reinforcements is going to be very difficult when you have all these fires shooting. Does come out with a demo, but unfortunately... Ooh, that was actually a pretty big demo shot. Never mind. I think TaToH has a lot on his hands to try to take this back. Does need to send fires out of this other dock as well. A lot of micro necessary. Okay, does have some fires of his own, though, so it will clean that up. And yeah, siege actually being pulled backwards. And villagers thinking, okay, do I leave? Do I stay? Not sure. More demos here for TaToH. But yeah, Monoz not really able to do too much. I mean, he did some. He was able to clear this choke point, the shallows. Monoz not getting the shot off, but will get that one. Needs some repairs here. Does send the villager. And, ooh, who gets a 2-for-1. All right, doesn't need the repairs after all. Just timed that well. Can't actually afford another Mangnao because he continues to build ships. And I think that's the wrong idea here. 1-for-1 on the demos. And I think that's game. Castle in the middle. Going to be very hard for Monoz to come back from when he doesn't actually have access to the middle. Maybe that's why he needs to continue fighting on water. Fires from behind, fires from the front. Meanwhile, Monoz is realizing, okay, castle's coming up. Need to send the villagers home. Scrambling in his brain. Okay, in this situation, what do I do? Do I try to collect my own stone, my own gold at home? He doesn't even see his own gold at home beyond the one he's on right now. Again, scouting his own base has been very limited. Luckily, he's Byzantines. But, yeah. I mean, TaToH's economy is a bit stretched as well, since he sent so many villagers to the middle. But, yeah, I think this siege workshop will be taken out pretty quickly. The outpost will be taken out. He is holding water to some extent. Oh, wait, he's not. He has nothing left on water. Okay, he's given up water. Maybe, okay. Maybe there's a chance here for Monoz. He still had this dock alive, actually. Does he not? He must have seen TaToH's fish. But I think he's just going to worry about controlling the choke points, the shallows. Trying to save these villagers from the spear. This is not Age of Empires 2 music. Why did that not stay on Age of Empires 2 music? There we go. Sorry about that if that got muted, but okay, that was a pretty short game after that. Monoz calls the GG, realizes he doesn't really have a way to get back into this. I was thinking maybe go fast imp into some sort of mixed water, fast fires, Dromon as Byzantines, but yeah, he's not really interested in playing on, it looks like. And TaToH's plays just look really clean. Definitely one of the favorites for winning this whole tournament. Let me know if you enjoyed this, and like and subscribe if you did.